Right now, in the heart of Europe, a crime is unfolding that feels ripped from the darkest pages of history. Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, thousands of Ukrainian children have been torn from their families, taken to Russia, and brainwashed to hate their own country. The International Criminal Court says Vladimir Putin himself is behind it. Today, we're diving into one of the most chilling stories of the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Это дети Донбасса, дети Мариуполя. Это наши дети.
In March 2023, the International Court issued arrest warrants for Vladimir Putin and Maria Lvova-Belova, Russia's Children's Rights Commissioner. Their crime? The forced deportation of Ukrainian children. The ICC has evidence, documents, witness testimonies, even Russian state media reports showing a systematic campaign to abduct children from occupied Ukrainian territories like Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia. Maria Lvova-Belova, who leads Putin's operation to kidnap Ukrainian children, set an example herself by adopting 15-year-old Filip from Mariupol. She says it was hard at first as he liked Ukraine and not Russia, but that he has now adapted and plans to join the Russian police. The Yale Humanitarian Research Lab estimates that around 35,000 Ukrainian children have been taken from their homes in Ukraine to Russia against their will. Some other organizations estimate that the number could actually be in the hundreds of thousands. These figures represent real children, each with a name, a family, dreams, and a right to their identity. And the evidence shows that many of them are being sent to so-called re-education camps across Russia to erase their Ukrainian identity and turn them into loyal Russians. Imagine being 9 years old, losing your parents, being taken by Russian troops, and waking up in a strange place where everyone tells you your country doesn't exist. That's the reality for children like 9-year-old Ilya, who was told by the Russians that he had to learn to love Russia instead of Ukraine.
He watched his mother die from a shrapnel wound to the head. He also was injured by shrapnel. He had a bad injury to his leg. Traumatized and unable to walk, he said Russian soldiers took him to a hospital where he was operated on without anesthesia.
They started teaching me to write in Russian. I have an injured leg. I can't walk. But they are teaching me to write poems about bears. My doctor came in once and said, "You must not say glory to Ukraine, but glory to Russia."
Thanks to a stubborn grandmother, Ilya could finally return to Ukraine. Ilya is one of the lucky ones. According to Bring Back Kids UA, only 1,307 children have been recovered, but thousands are still trapped, some as far away as Siberia. Ukrainian children face psychological and physical abuse in upwards of 43 Russian-run camps, holding the children against their will. Some children as young as 10 have reported being beaten for refusing to comply. Russian propaganda floods their days, textbooks, TV, even songs, designed to make them hate Ukraine. One child quoted by Ukraine's ombudsman said, "They told us our parents were dead and Ukraine was destroyed." This is brainwashing on an industrial scale. Videos from schools in the occupied territories show Ukrainian children being forced to speak only Russian in school.
Которая очень подходит к вашей ситуации и к вообще ситуации, сложившейся сейчас в мире, и к вам, которые будут учиться на русском. Мы знаем, что ныне лежит на весах, и что совершается ныне. Час мужества пробил на наших часах, и мужество нас не покинет. Не страшно под пулями мертвыми лечь, не горько остаться без крова, и мы сохраним тебя, русская речь, великое русское слово. Свободным и чистым тебя пронесем, и внукам дадим, и от плена спасем навеки.
And to participate in militaristic ceremonies glorifying Russia, brainwashed to see themselves as Russian, they could be funneled into future conflicts as loyal soldiers. It's not just about erasing Ukraine's identity, it's also about weaponizing their children. This is part of a broader, deliberate strategy. In occupied territories, Ukrainians face relentless oppression, arrests, torture, sexual violence, and forced assimilation. Residents are pressured to accept Russian identity, often through coercion, because without Russian passports, they can't access basic services, work, or move freely. It's citizenship at gunpoint. Putin has openly declared his belief that Ukraine is an artificial construct, asserting that Ukrainians are merely Russians who have been misled. In the summer of 2021, Putin published an essay in which he made his position on Ukraine clear. He wrote, "The idea of Ukrainian people as a nation separate from the Russians has no historical basis and could not have any. It was a literal denial of Ukrainian national legitimacy." He repeated these accusations after Russia's full-scale invasion of 2022 in a widely circulated interview with Tucker Carlson.
Ukraine is an artificial state. I'm saying that they're part of Russian people. They're saying that we're a separate nation.
Putin's rhetoric shows that his goal with the invasion isn't just to control Ukrainian territory, it's to erase a culture. Children are the easiest target. By stealing them, Russia's betting it can rewrite the future of Ukraine. But there's a darker motive. Russia has a long history going all the way back to the Tsar of using conquered peoples as cannon fodder. In the 19th century, the Russian Empire drafted Poles, Ukrainians, and others into brutal wars, treating them as expendable. Today, analysts warn Russia is trafficking these children, removing them from their homes, erasing their identities, and grooming them for the same fate. Speaking at the UN, Poland's Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski reminded the Russians about what Germany did to Polish and Russian children during the Second World War in what was called Nazi Germany's Lebensborn program, where thousands of children from occupied territories were kidnapped, given to German families, and stripped of their identities to become Aryan. He asked the Russians whether they realized that Russia is now doing the same to Ukrainian children.
Ambassador Nebenzia and Russian propagandists like to refer to the democratically elected government of Ukraine as Nazis. It so happens that in Poland, I live 3 kilometers from Potulice, the site of a former Nazi filtration camp during the Second World War. It's known for the fact that thousands of children were imprisoned there, from Poland and the Soviet Union, from around Smolensk and Vitebsk. Up to 800 of these children died, but thousands were transferred west to be Germanized. How does what you are doing to Ukrainian kidnapped children differ from what German Nazis did to your children and ours?
By placing Ukrainian children with Russian families, listing them on adoption websites, and systematically severing ties to their past, Russia isn't just kidnapping, it's committing cultural genocide. This is happening right now. The world can't look away. Ukraine's Commission for Human Rights and international NGOs are fighting to bring these children home, but they need support, resources, attention, pressure on Russia. And there is a small, brave group of people, mothers, veterans, human rights defenders, who risk everything to rescue these children. Their name is Save Ukraine. Save Ukraine is one of the only organizations in the world rescuing children from behind enemy lines. Their teams go where few dare to go, and they need our help. Imagine if any of these children were yours. What would you do? This is not just a story, it's a call to action. These children need our voices, our support, and our commitment to bring them home. Share this story, lobby your elected officials, talk about it, because every child, like Ilya, deserves a chance to go home.